6, 4. So, hey everyone, welcome. Really glad you're here. So, before I introduce us, I want to say what it is and what it isn't. So, this is not a tutorial at all. It's not even a sales pitch for any tool that we have. And it's definitely not two people who have it all figured out telling you what to do with AI. It's just our own experiences. This is basically a conversation, a natural one, a real one about what actually looks like to use AI on everyday basis, what we find useful, embarrassing, and the parts also that we are still not sure about. I know today Portugal is playing. We didn't think about it before when we scheduled, but if you're seeing this after, thank you for being here, even if it's after. We also gathered a few questions from the audience before this live to make sure that we have something from you, so to have this conversation. But there won't be any big explanation. All right, let's start by introducing yourselves and who you are actually spending the next hour or 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is, how long it is, with us today. So before, I am Madalena Costa. I am AI systems designer and product strategist based in Lisbon, Portugal. I work at the intersection of human experience and AI, which basically means I spend a lot of time thinking about what happens to people when systems get smarter. I work with companies across Portugal, US, South Africa, and beyond that, helping them integrate AI into their products and processes in a way that actually holds up with attention, with trust, with judgment, with humans still meaningful in the loop as the main thing, the ones actually giving the rules and what is happening. I run also a podcast called Human X Intelligence. I am a Google Makers ambassador, lovable ambassador, and I co-lead Ladies at UX Lisbon, and also spoken in multiple events like We Are Developers, Portugal Tech Week, the Engineering Design Show, and so on. And my relationship with AI is complicated in the way I'll get to it in a second. But before I answer what my relationship is actually with AI, I would also like you to meet Catarina, which I'm very excited that she's here with us today.
Well, I'm Catarina. I started as a graphic designer since 2003, so I have 20 years old of experience. After that, I had my own company and I started work with lots of important companies, like a strategist, marketeer, and managing all the agency. I also was the first designer representing Portugal in Cannes Lion, in the category of design, and after that I've managed already a group of people, of 20 people, with paid traffic, social media, design, video, so many kinds of things. And nowadays I'm a teacher, and I'm a brand consultant.
So thank you, Catarina. I'm very happy that you're here. Yeah. So since I mentioned before my relationship with AI, I use it every day, every single day, across everything, like thinking, building, writing, designing, shipping. I use tools like Claude, Lovable, Cursor, Perplexity, Granola, Notebook LM, etc., and then depending on the mode I am in and the goal for the project that I'm working on. But here's the thing, I want this to be as honest as possible and I want to be upfront on it. I spent an entire hour once across 6 different AI tools trying to define the direction of a project. This is quite a while ago, but it is relevant. And when I stopped to write it up, actually, I had nothing. And this wasn't because there wasn't an output. There was plenty of output there. The problem isn't because none of it was actually mine. I had outsourced the thinking and it wasn't just execution. And that actually was helping with kind of a burnout. And I thought that was very interesting back then because we didn't have a lot to talk about on it. But I remember a few weeks ago, and I also did a podcast on this about the MIT researchers that call this like cognitive death. And that moment is basically part of why I am so interested in the question of where human judgment lives in all of this, and as basically not only as a philosophical exercise but a practical daily problem. So yes, I use AI constantly with a new way, a new direction, and I think about it critically, probably more than in a healthy that it is today. So that is the space I coming in for you today. Yeah. So.
Well, I never started with AI like just give it the thinking, all of it,
Mhm, mhm,
because well, my background is design, and my company was trying things, new things, trying new materials, trying everything new, and not just by searching on the web. I never liked
mhm,
giving everything to the tools
mhm,
itself. I prefer always to have my point of view, and and that's kind of the thing I do nowadays. I give it to the heavy work, but
mhm,
I always give my voice to it in the
mhm,
image I make, in the text I make. Uh, of course, it helps a lot uh,
mhm,
during my process because I can do like 60
mhm,
things instead of five during a
mhm,
day.
mhm,
But it helps, and I don't give it everything to it.
mhm,
Um, the thing is, I train it a lot.
mhm,
And yes, I give all the way I write, all the way I like to do the images to it, so that I can iterate from to my voice, to the way my perspective, to the way I think. So
mhm,
it's when it answers, it's not generic
mhm,
at all
mhm,
anymore. Well,
mhm,
it's kind of a tool that I use, but it already relates to me. It already has my
mhm.
voice.
How would you say that your experience with creating something that feels you in a certain way, how do you feel that this dictates the way you work now versus when you started and it didn't reply in a way that is you, basically? How would you say?
In the beginning, it was too generic.
Yeah, when it was some something happened in the football team. Yes. So when you started, of course, it wasn't as specific as it is right now. Versus right now, it's very very specific to you and not as general as it was. So, how would you say that? How what was the shift between that way of working versus the way you work now?
I think it wasn't really a shift. It
Mm-hmm,
was I was also starting to learn how to
mm-hmm,
use it. So I wasn't even knowing what
mm-hmm,
AI was capable of.
mm-hmm,
So I was just starting to give small things, even if generic. I started with small steps, and after that, and after that, I started to grow, and
mm-hmm,
well, the tools grow every single day, so it's quite a thing that I was
mm-hmm,
growing with them. So
mm-hmm,
I started to use AI like um, around 2 years ago.
mm-hmm,
So it wasn't just this hype, and
mm-hmm,
it wasn't just all the news that we have every day at the moment.
mm-hmm,
But well, I started with Instagram image, and I was just exploring it like I do with everything
mm-hmm,
in my life, not just with AI. I do it with every tool I have. And I was curious, so I just post an image, and then someone asked me, "Well, can you teach me how to do that kind of image?" And that's how it started. That's how I started to dig more and to be even more curious, because I wasn't the only one. I saw that many people wanted to do something like that, but they didn't even know how to start. So I just started to document everything, and I guess it started just that way. And how about you? How did you start? How did you came with this idea of AI and how it helped you?
So I find I guess first of all, just for context, I always really enjoyed sci-fi movies. I guess I know it sounds random, but it always fascinated me the way we might or not might evolve as a society. So I always had that thought process, and as a young girl. And when I saw these new tools coming to the market, it kind of made me wonder if we were in that kind of one of those kind of directions that we always saw, and I always saw growing up. So it started with a positive note, but with an intriguing note, because there's also a lot of movies where they kill humans. But I'm very okay with that, even because that's another story. But so basically, it started with a curiosity already established in me, thinking, when will this happen? So when it happened, I jumped the wagon right away because I wanted to understand everything that happened around it. Also, because I was already working with products that used LLM, agentic AI, etc., etc. It was very easy for me to make the system thinking that I was already having to create products to use these tools at the time. With everything that we have in the market, which is a lot. Like I said in the beginning when I was talking about AI, I at that time I wanted to try everything, and I kind of lost that direction because of the that excitement, that creativity that I wanted to have to do more, to do more. Because if you know me personally, I'm a person that loves to do a lot of different things. I want to try. If I think it's a good idea, I'm going for it. So with that, that happened with at that time. What changed in that perspective for from now, Madalena of today, is that I'm very much more in tune to what the project is about and what actually would help that project to establish itself in a way that it will be helpful not only for the project itself but also for me and what I'm learning using those ideas. So I focus first on the process, and then I focus on what processes or what tools, what AI workflows we can add to that processes, and not the way they're array around. I have these tools, I have this AI workflow, I can create a process with it. So first, establish the baseline. So this is the two differences of how I am right now, and how I think we should focus on moving on, thinking of how we can amplify our human connections with our work, and what are the actual signals and ideas and thought process that we can have. And this goes also hand in hand with a situation that we are in right now, right? So um, what can we lose to AI versus what we can gain by using AI and not using AI? I don't know if you have any, if you ever thought about this. This is something that has been in my mind for the past, well, since I launched the podcast actually in October of last year. It's been growing and growing and growing more and more. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Well, what I gain with AI, I gain I can do many more things with AI than I didn't do. Well, I write a lot more with AI because uh, I'm I really like to write little things, and I don't write a lot. With AI, I can do more long texts. I can do images and I can edit images with it's much easier. I
Mhm.
don't spend so many hours editing.
Mhm.
So I, I I gain time with that, but but
Mhm.
I think I lose
Mhm.
myself in the curious way because I'm always learning a new thing about AI because I use a lot of tools.
Mhm.
I have my master tools that I use it daily, but with my master tools, they are always evolving. So there is always something to learn about, and that's a thing that I gain in one hand, but I
Mhm.
lose with another because I'm always pushing further, and I'm always wanting to do more things. Uh,
Mhm.
I was more content um, before AI
Mhm.
with doing less than I do
Mhm.
nowadays. And nowadays, I want always, can I do more? Can I do
Mhm.
uh, things that can I do something automatic that I can
Mhm.
gain more time and do even more? And that's the thing for me. How about you? Do you think you gain time or do you lose somehow time
Mhm.
in the process?
I guess it depends on what I'm doing, because right now it's much more easier for me not to lose time to actually gain it. But from time to time, and when I'm learning like prompting scripting, when I was learning how to optimize and to create agents for to help with my work, learning that is alone, specifically because I was learning alone, it's very time consuming because you have to learn a lot of things that there's no direction right now, like directly, like there's no someone that can help, or at least when I was learning back then, there wasn't anyone that I could actually rely on to help me this. So that was very time consuming, very sleep deprived during that time. But I would have to say that right now it has helped me exponentially, specifically with organization, with, for example, if I need every week or every week or every day, depending on the project, on the what I'm working on. But for example, I have an automation that every day sends me from keywords article and other board rails and other things that I like under contexts that I gave. It sends me to my email uh, summaries of what I want to read. And that helps me a lot because I'm a person, as you can see from behind, I'm a person that loves to read, like genuinely loves to read. But more than that, I love to learn. And with everything else that I do, it became a back burner, learning through others that are sharing online. With this new automation, I get this information in a short size, specifically to what I need and what I want to learn. So that really helped me, and I gained time. Other things that sometimes make me lose time is when I'm working on a specific project, a design wise project, and I'm using an artificial intelligence tool that is not working in a way that I told them to do. Or when I have an automation, or when I have an agents working for me, a multi-agent system, where unfortunately one of them did not understand the guardrail that I gave, and it decided to do something that was completely out of scope to it, which actually happened directly with other people that received emails from me that were directed to them, for example. And that made me lose time and other things in the process, but specifically time to explain to others, hey, I'm sorry, this was my assistant that did not understand what I wanted or did not do what it was intended for it to do. So it is a learning curve. We are not in the beginning, but we are still in the beginning of how to actually um, have these deep um, structures for them, and not to do what they want or have this kind of confident. And I think this goes hand in hand with, because AI is a very confident tool, very confident on its replies. Right? So how would you say that you work around that and uh, understand when it's telling you something that is true versus when it's just hallucinating, or at least grabbing information that it's not a reality from someone that wrote online?
Well, I read everything that it writes before I publish anything
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, before I send it. Um, I think that is the minimum thing we could do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bare minimum because we know that AI can write in a way that it's not our way, even if we train them.
Mm-hmm.
I train them for not saying certain words, not to do certain punctuation, not to do the same kind of paragraphs,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like to go to a factory and
Mm-hmm.
it's always the same,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't write in that way. So even if it's my voice, even if it's my style of writing, well, there are things that it maintains, and there are things that it's still AI, and there are things that our brain still reads that is AI, and it's not my writing on
Mm-hmm.
way. So, and that's a thing for the most posts, for the most content that is made nowadays, that our
Mm-hmm.
brain is processing on the way, when it's AI or not, when it's someone working on it, or
Mm-hmm.
it's just AI. But even that way, you can still relate the difference between when it's just an automation and you
Mm-hmm.
can just spot it out, or when it's someone iterating.
Mm-hmm.
That is also a difference. And well, probably you also can spot it on when it's just AI, or when
Mm-hmm.
it's just someone iterates the the output. But well, it's totally different. And I think the shift of content nowadays is when you feel more human, more.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I read someone, when someone writes something from the heart, well, it's completely different. It
Mm-hmm.
touches in a different way. The
Mm-hmm.
thoughts are kept in our
Mm-hmm.
mind in a different way. I don't know what AI has, but even if it tries to write the way I write, well, your brain knows that is AI writing.
Mm-hmm.
And the future of content, I guess, it's more human, it's more backstage, it's more rough, it's more rusty, it's more, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Far away from perfection. Well, you already have in Instagram reels, yep, content. So it's like someone is talking to a camera, and the camera, it moves. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's not perfect. It doesn't have the perfect studio light. It doesn't have the perfect background, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a hype, and it's turning even um, more and more important to see that is made from someone. Someone is on the other side. Someone is taking their time to show. And I guess brands will suffer if they just do everything to AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess brands will be rising more if well, it's like a luxury, right? Time of people are quite a luxury. Um, don't you think that what AI does to brands? What do you think that we could let AI do to our communication? What we should let AI do, and what we should still um, do as a human? What's your opinion about it?
I guess it depends on what we are working on, right? Because there's a different layers to what AI. The baby's mad. There are different layers as to how and what and where we should use artificial intelligence in our projects. Guess at the end of the day, it comes to the question: where do we want to continue to be humans when we talk about communication, versus when we don't want? Because if we are talking about a brand that is based on being, for example, human based, that has a communication that has personality, that is driven towards something that helps humans to rise, versus brands that have artificial intelligence as their main communication based. So, what is the goal uh, with your communication, right? I guess it goes with that. Personally, I think if we are sharing online, like me specifically, for example, sharing something online, it needs to be something that it comes from me specifically. When I write online, I don't write as much as a post based. I prefer in person or like this online. In the my cat, of course. But I do prefer face to face. I think I'm much more genuine, and I can show much more who I am in person versus who I am online. Because I don't want to lose my time writing a lot online. I prefer, for me specifically, I find it much more pleasing to be in person, but I do love to consume other people's content online. I just don't do it for myself. Um, other When it comes to other people online, maybe what I can do is reframe it in a different way. So when I'm looking to others' content to read, what I'm trying to read is more. I love storytelling, for example, and I do not think that AI can do storytelling as us just yet. I like to read something that is actionable. For example, I like to read something that becomes genuine connection to an experience that others had, and that is the big difference between what is 100% written by AI versus what is not 100% written by AI, right? Because when we are sharing something that happened to us, and it really happened, there's details that maybe an AI will be like, this is just too much for the story. But me reading, I'm like, yes, you know, that this is makes sense. If it wasn't there, even though it can be like palha, like we call it, it is the palha that I want to read. If that makes sense.
Exactly.
So I guess it goes with that. I think we have a question. I don't know if you want to answer right away. Someone commented. I'm just gonna put on the screen so we can read it. I can read it out loud, but I get the human touch, but wasn't the human written content also getting a bit cliche and copy pasting? Yeah. At least it's what I see here in LinkedIn, where we are daily bombarded with such empty titles as 10 leadership. Oh, but that has been around before AI. The three tips to blah blah blah. 10, that has been for a long time. I'm going sarcastic here, but you get the point. I 100% get the point. That was something I will, at least AI is democratizing content creation a bit. So the ones who were silent are now risky a bit, jumping that big wall that is having inspiration. So I do think that this type of title that you're talking about, it has been around for a long time. Before, it was seen as something that people could do right away, and it was trending a lot. right now, because probably they tested a lot with those type of content, it has become noise based, which happens with all the trends that are around for a long time. So just for context, I think this is important to give. When we lose, I think it, and this is where the point is, because there's a lot of noise right now because everyone can write. And how do we actually stop and decide who to read, where to read, if everyone is just searching on one of the tools? Go ahead. You wanted to say
I
something?
think everyone now have an opinion,
Mm-hmm.
even if they are not specialists. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a thing. That's a thing that it's even more complicated to know who is really talking
Mm-hmm.
with experience or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can see like 18 years old person writing anything in LinkedIn or being a mentor. And well, that person can be a mentor, but a mentor to people that knows less than that person, okay? The thing is, people are now like equalized in knowledge. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, knowledge, because the content they create, it's like the same as the specialists, because they can show with AI texts, they know a lot of things. But if you ask something specific, they can't. They don't know. They don't even
Mm-hmm.
have the experience to know it. The thing is, the people that follows those persons and those people, they have
Mm-hmm.
to know the background. They
Mm-hmm.
have to know the experience of people they are following, because they need to know if that's a content of AI, or that's a content of a specialist talking, because a specialist knows exactly how to um, iterate the when things go wrong. It's
Mm-hmm.
not when things go right. The problem here is that when things go wrong, I can do in a different way, because I tested a lot of things with a lot of other companies, with a lot of other environments. But young people, sometimes they write things they don't even know what they are talking about, and that's a thing. And everyone nowadays have an opinion, and sometimes you see the post LinkedIn post written by AI, and after that you see the comment written by AI, and it's quite annoying because it's an AI talking to an AI, different different AI. But it's, yeah, it's annoying. And I don't know, uh, Madalena, how do you think it became more difficult to people understand who to follow, who to
Mm-hmm.
believe in
Mm-hmm.
the word? What do you think? AI is democratizing the knowledge from,
Mm-hmm.
well, of content at least.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but how do you think a person should interact with that kind of content when people don't have the expertise to be a specialist?
There's a lot to catch from that, but I would say that right now it just amplified this. First of all, confidence. Not only that's not only the AI that has a lot of confidence, but people, humans, have a lot of confidence now because it helps them with their ego as well. If we go from to there, if we go there, uh, but there's so much to talk about this. So we are this helped amplify and to see, because this has been around for a long time. People that we've been following for a long time, even before the AI became what AI is today, people have been writing online things that are not theirs. And it was much harder to understand if it were theirs or not. Right now, it's just we have a new way of looking and seeing that if it's not from that person versus before. I guess this is like where we should also think about when we decide who to follow versus where not to follow. Is we need to also take a step back and understand that we need to have critical judgment towards what we are reading and critical thinking as well of what we are reading, and decide if this is something that is true or not. But that happened before as well. It's not a new reality. Right now we just have more noise and more people doing it. It doesn't matter what if the other person is, for me at least, it doesn't matter if the other person is who that person is. It really matters if that person is making me think more than I was thinking before, and if I have a critical thinking towards that. And that's the person that I'm following. If I see that that person is just like copying and pasting, I'm probably not going to read. But it needs to be me deciding. Of course, we can have tools insert, and we also have on Google, on Gmail, on Google Docs, there's already tools implemented there where it shows that it's AI written 100% versus not, etc., etc. But we can also add that on LinkedIn, on Instagram, whatever tools, social media that we use. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And I know this is polemic, but it doesn't really matter if it was written by AI. What matters if it was written by the thought of what you did and what you thought, and it just helped you write it. Because right now, if we see it on a positive side, people can reach a lot of more people. There's Portuguese people who don't feel 100% confident with English, but have a lot to share and would like to share it more with correct grammar English. And I'm going around and around, but this is something that it's a reality. These people now can make sure that what they are writing in Portuguese and with broken English like we talk in a correct grammatical way. So that this question and this thought and all of this is a bit generalized, and it depends on the cases. It's not a new thing. It's just an augmented way of seeing things right now, and people are fetching to see who's the next person that I'm gonna catch, that is doing things that are there it's not supposed to do. I can go round and around on this subject, but I guess we need to we shouldn't put all in others, because we also decide what to do with what we see. So what others do, it's their own judgment. What we do with what we have, it's ours. You get to decide what your mental capacity is up to versus what is not. So this is my opinion on the subject. There's more. I could continue for hours on this subject.
For sure.
But I really appreciate this comment. I cannot see where it, because it says that just LinkedIn user, and I cannot see where it came from. But I really appreciate this comment and starting this conversation. And please do share more if you have any more questions on the subject. We also have other questions that were shared on the forum and other things and other messages. I guess I can just share one of them. What do you think?
Sure, you can.
Okay. So are you both not just two people who are fine because you already have platforms and credibility? What about everyone else? So a friend of mine shared this with me. I don't know if you want to start. I guess no one is fine right now. We can just say that.
Well, I'm not really fine because I'm always discovering everything. Well, it's like overwhelming. It's like I said, I started as a designer. So for me, someone that likes to code in a black screen, it was like it was the a real challenge. How can someone look at a blank screen? And
Mhm.
nowadays, well, 2 months ago, I was just finding myself with a terminal black screen, and I was like, wow, I can do this. Yeah. And it's like overwhelming because I can do and I'm the curve I'm having, I'm learning so much more, and I'm doing so many things that I never thought about it. Well, completely, because in design I really like the texture, the paint, it's how I started, and I couldn't even imagine that would be an AI, and I couldn't even imagine that my work was going through this process, and I was going to be one of the people that was so curious about it, and that wants to know more and more and more, because, well, I can I do a lot of research, but the more I talk about with other people that also use AI, they all always tell me anything new that I never experiment, and that makes me feel I need to know even more. I need to know. Well, I will try that. I will try that too, and it's like overwhelming in the end of the day. It's not no, it's I think, well, people that don't didn't even start, well, it's like really overwhelming because they don't know how to start. That's the thing. But the people that are already doing and working with AI, they also feel overwhelmed. Well, it's not only you. The thing is, it's in a different way, in a different stage. uh,
Mhm.
I guess, don't you
Mhm.
think? It's like we have a lot of steps.
Mhm. I guess I don't think anyone. I guess I can side with. I don't think anyone is fine or has enough platform or enough credibility. This can go away tomorrow, and it doesn't even matter if you work on it. Of course, it helps right now that we have, but at the end of the day, you can start a project and have a platform and credibility, but know nothing on how to do that project. So it kind of you will be found in a way or others. um, I guess what we should focus on, or what we could focus on, are what can you do right now that would help you to continue doing what you love, even though most of us have to say goodbye to the previous version of who we were as professionals, because we are in a evolution. It's going somewhere. No one 100% knows where, but we do know that something is happening. And what I would always like to say is having curiosity, making asking questions. And I think this one is also asking questions is very, very important, and goes, of course, with curiosity. But this is what is going to help you. um, I'm not going to sugarcoat and say that it's going to be easy. It's not easy for anyone, even people that are even us that are working on this every single day. We also get scared, we also get imposter syndrome, which is very common and very normal. And we also do mistakes, I'm sure, Catarina. I don't want to say that you do mistakes, but
I do,
I
I do, I do a lot of them.
yeah. So it's pretty common to do this. It's just go for it, because and I'm a living and breathing example of a person that is um super afraid but just goes for it. And it doesn't I don't really care if a person that is watching right now is going to say something bad about me or anything else. And I work on this a lot. for sure. But I don't really care right now because I know where I'm coming from, and I know if I say a mistake now or say something that 2 years from now I'm going to find it very cringe, or I'm going to find like, oh, I don't agree with it anymore. That's pretty normal. We, like Margarida Preda said, we are in a big transition time, and with big transition a lot of mistakes are going to happen, and a lot of things that we thought were reality or true or whatever we decide that it is, it's not going to be anymore. And it's normal, and it's okay, and it's okay. It's basically, it's gonna be okay one way or
Yeah,
the other.
it's like looking backwards and your first work.
Hmm.
Do you do it? Would you do it in the same way? I
Definitely.
wouldn't. So that's the part of the journey. We learn from our mistakes, and that's the thing. And
Hmm.
um, with AI, it's like sometimes I don't even know the output and how to achieve that. But the thing
Hmm.
is, I think what it saves people that are learning from AI, it's like they are really curious about it. They
Hmm.
We search a lot of things. It's
Hmm.
like we are not expecting anyone to give us the information. Uh, we dig really deep ourselves in how should I do this. We search from, well, if someone already did that thing we wanted to do. But
Hmm.
the thing is, I think the key is to be curious and make questions and try to solve it in our head and try
Hmm.
to make it, because it's we wouldn't we, I think we just need to try to make things and not just think about it. we need to
Hmm.
we need to be curious, do the
Hmm.
right questions, and then start to try.
Hmm.
I think that's the thing, and then we see what it where it goes, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, 100%. And I guess Nadia's saying, and I agree with her, I think the democratization of AI in generating text or image is more technical. The critique and the soul or personality of the image of or text comes from those who generally construct them. All of us designers are lost at this moment. Not only designers, trust me, it's not only designers. Yes, our role is changing for sure. Um, every role is changing in some sort of way, and some sort of um, it is changing in general sense. But also now I saw the name, it's Luis Menezes that has been commenting LinkedIn user, so just for him to have a name, 'cause I think it's
Yeah.
but he's saying that what I see is also a big focus on speed. If I don't get X followers in a month, I'm a fraud. Comparing is normal, but if we are always looking to to how others are succeeding, we get out of our own lane. Even the turquoise finished the race. It sucks, but it's okay. And it's also okay not to continue in tech right now if it's not something that you want to continue. Not everyone here, not Catarina is not tech, but she's still here, and she's deciding what is best for her the same way that I'm deciding what is best for me. uh yes, even if I don't get X followers in a month, I'm a fraud. There's also, if I don't get X features in a month, I'm a fraud, and VCs should not buy my product, etc. um I Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to answer Nadia,
Mhm.
that is all
Yeah.
designers are lost at this moment. Well, designers are not lost. I think designers, marketers need to work with AI, with new tools, and they need
Mhm.
to manage design, manage marketing. And of course, they are just not needed as much as before in the way they were. The
Mhm.
function has changed.
Mhm.
Well, read that read the data for marketers
Mhm.
that's changed because AI can do all that.
Mhm.
Do mock-ups and um, do things, design things. Well, AI already can do. We just need to do the key visual. It's like we don't need to do every piece. So we need to think more and to be more intelligent using this kind of tools. I
Mhm.
guess the thing is that we need to manage how to think, how to do, how to solve things in a different way, and
Mhm.
not doing the things. I guess the process changed, and that's a thing that it it will become a difference between the professionals that use AI and the professionals that still don't use AI. It's people that actually can think of structure of systems, and people that just like to do things and deliver things.
Mhm.
And that's kind of AI already does that. So we don't need those kind of professionals. We need the kind of
Mhm.
professionals that think about solving new
Mhm.
new things, um, new problems.
Mhm. She's saying what I meant by being lost is more in the sense of having too much information, too many tools, and new things every week. It's difficult to keep up with so many changes in real time.
Well, it's like my
I get
expertise. It's like my expertise working with that because um, there is already AI in Figma, there is already AI in Adobe, and there is also other tools that connect all of them. So it's
Mhm.
kind of when do you what do you really want to do? What do you really want to start with? Uh, for me, it's like quite easy at the moment, but just start small. Start with the tools you already work with, and then start to add AI to it. And I guess it simplifies your working flow.
Mhm. Yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter the tool. As designers, we have been switching tools forever. Uh, and what's I'm a very prone believer that if you learn 5 to 10 tools, if you know how to use 5 to 10 tools, the rest is very easy. And now we have a lot of different resources that can help us learn different tools very quickly. We should not focus on what tools to use. We should focus on how we can differentiate ourselves, how to keep that curiosity that makes us humans, how to keep that critical thinking, and and Luis said there's always this struggle between using the tool and being used by the tool. Exactly. 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 But I also consider design thinking the way of thinking about design to be above all that, especially when you are at the top, coordinating or managing a team. I guess um, so. Something that happens in every company is they all have their own stack of tools, they all have their ways of working. What we have as a differentiator is it depends on the person as well. It really depends on the person. um if you because I can go like design thinking, it's the it's what every designer loves design thinking. So um design thinking is very good for a long time, but it needs to have a small shift, in my opinion, for what we are starting to build. I think the meaning of design thinking or the concept of what it is, it's very good as a baseline, but the specific frameworks of what it actually is needs to evolve with times. And with that, we need to do things, but in order to do things we also need to be able to sell ourselves. But I remember the drama when Macromedia was bought by Adobe and Freehand died. It's the same again. It's completely the same. For a long time, people used Google Slides, used Sketch to design mock-ups for tools. None of us use nothing of this, not even Adobe as well, because Adobe, that we used to use, doesn't really exist anymore for new users. Only the previous users can use the tool. Now Figma was here for a bit, and now people are already saying, will Figma survive this? Because at the end of the day, it's just a tool. I
Exactly.
don't know.
It's the way you think. It's not the
Mhm,
way. It's not the tool itself that it's important.
mhm,
It's like, um, well, I'm really a dinosaur. So it's. I still remember when, um, well, the previous generation of mine. That's a point. Not my generation. The previous one. They still choose pictures from a book, and
mhm,
um, they they paid the picture, and days after they
mhm,
were receiving in the mail. Uh,
mhm,
it's like you need it to be very accurate of the picture you wanted.
mhm,
Nowadays, well, we are flooded by images. We can do images in seconds. It's like the tools are different, but the way we think, it's like we need to select more the thinking. The way we
mhm,
work, it's different. The, the way we need to think, it's the same. We need to be selective. We need to be more accurate. We need to do more. Um, it's not selected job. It's like we need to select more the things that
mhm,
actually have value, that
mhm,
actually mean something.
mhm,
It's like a curated. I need to
mhm,
curate more than before, but nowadays I can do much more than I used to
mhm.
do. That's the thing. But a good specialist, well, I don't, maybe not specialist it's a bad word, but uh, a person with experience, uh, and with good results, think in the same way. Well, they know how to get into people, because people are the same. People just thinking the same way like 20 years ago. The
Mhm,
triggers are the same. People, our brain didn't change as much. We just know that our attention is is more difficult to catch. Uh,
mhm,
but the brain functions in the same way.
mhm.
It's We are not different humans. We are
Yeah.
just we are just people that have less time, less attention, um, and that's the thing that we need to deal with it.
Mhm,
Besides from that, the communication that we do, besides from that, the ways we work, well, it's the same.
yeah.
Well, it's not the same, but
Mhm,
the way we think, it's the same.
yeah. I think something that I've been thinking, because I have a lot of friends that don't even never use AI in their lives. S Until today, never. And something that we need to think about, because we are in our own little bubbles, is not everyone wants to build tools. Not everyone will build tools. There's other things, even because I think people that work in some sort of product or design, whatever it is, digital, we always think that this is the way the world will go, and this is the way that we should. It's not. I have a lot of friends that have still jobs. No AI is going to steal their jobs in the way that they're doing right now, uh, and they're living their best lives without even thinking that that exists. and there's also those people that hate AI, and those people will exist for a long time. And as a society, we'll always try to find a way to balance all of this because it's inevitable. So I think what we could think right now is, um, what can make our professional lives easier, and not what will be stilled. I don't know the conjugation, but what will be taken away from us. What can we add, and what can we say, uh, what can we give to these tools to do? I think this is where we should go. But we are already in the 1 hour mark. I think what we can do now is just share a little note on what we've talked and how we use these tools in the day-to-day lives. Is there anything you'd like to share in that sense?
If we, sorry, if we need to,
And I don't. It's something that you would like to share with everyone
okay.
on the subjects of what we shared today.
Well, the, there are things that quite amazes me, that people are not really, some people are not really aware, like you said, that AI is doing or is changing. But the thing is, it's really changing. And probably Portugal is not, well, the country that is so that is so upfront in AI. That's a thing. That's also a thing. But Portugal is not the country that is ahead. But the world will change, and many things will be done by AI, as we
Mhm.
want it or not. That's the
Mhm.
thing that will happen, and I can't do anything about it. The thing is, who is really leading AI? Who, the which companies are leading? Because that's a thing that really frightens me, because the people that are running AI, no one votes for them, and they can know anything. I mean, anything
Mhm.
we think, because people use AI even like therapy, and that's frightening, because we already AI already knows where we are, because we can use Google Maps,
Mhm.
Waze. We can they already know
Can I
what's in
just can
our
I
email.
add something before I
Sure.
forget? Sorry, because you said that I need to say. You know what happened to me because of Google Maps? Someone told me, "Do you know how we lost ourselves? That we didn't even thought about that we use Google Maps for everything, even for the route that we know." Since I had that triggered me so much that now I disconnect my Google. I just connected to see, okay, there's no traffic, disconnected, and just go without it. I'm like, I don't want my brain to lose that. Okay, please continue. I just,
But the
yeah.
thing is, they still know where you are. But
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing,
that's for sure.
they still know. They still know. That's the thing. They already know what's in your email. They already know everything about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a thing that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who are these people? They have true values, because everything I read about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they don't really have values, or they are truly not similar to my values. That's I've watched. I don't know if you've watched Godot with Stephen Barley.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the highest people in Google. And the thing is, the things he shares, it's like they don't really have values.
Mm-hmm.
And the company that owns AI and that has more power with AI, it's like the company that knows more about us,
Mm-hmm.
and they have more data about us. And the thing is not only that company, but the the, um, the data is now the most important thing to every company. It's like the data we now can collect from
Mm-hmm.
every platform, from everywhere, like my
Mm-hmm.
marketeers, like we know how to impact that person, how to get in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's a thing that scares me, because I can as a marketeer, as a brand strategist, I can impact with a lot of lives, with people that don't even know that AI exists.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I'm just a particle,
Mm-hmm.
because the big thing, the big thoughts, the big data is on the hands I don't even know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that scares me. And they know much more the where this is going through,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have even a
Mm-hmm.
glimpse of it, for sure, because I read a lot of things, but for sure I don't know what is in the backstage.
Yeah. I'm not the a good person to talk about, because I have Google Homes throughout all my home. I have screens everywhere. I do not, but I guess that came from other people that are around me. We don't care in that sense. Of course, we think about what the repercussions of it would be, but not in a. I wouldn't say we are not scared of it, because we cannot do anything about it. What we can do is try ourselves to be the best per people that we want, because if something comes out, we are sure that it's based on our values, on our genuine thoughts. And if it is something that in that moment I was mad and they recorded that I was mad and I said this about that person, I am prepared to say, yeah, I did do that. I am allowed to be at my home and sometimes not be the best that I could be, and learn from that. I I think we should. I live my life trying not to um, think. And this is now, okay. When I started this journey, it was completely different, but no, trust me, it was. And I could not have anything, because one of my best friends hates anything that is remotely electronic. She still has iPhone 6. She does not care about anything related, and she's the complete opposite, because I'm all in with everything like this. So yeah, I've watched a lot of, like I said, I'm a very sci-fi driven person. um so anything like this, I've already thought about it and tried to deconstruct on it. But I guess what I want to say at the end is that, and I think you would agree with this based on our conversation, that uh, we both use AI. We just make sure that it's for real reasons, and reasons that help us get to where we want to go in a meaningful way. But uh, important, we are cautious on it, and we made sure that what we do is genuinely useful and genuinely imperfect. I don't know if you read this, because that's
Yeah,
what it is to be human, right?
yeah,
And everything is changing so fast that even people that you think that are and know everything about every day are still figuring out, and it's pretty normal to do so. And with that, I would like to advise you to talk with someone that you feel like it's out of scope, because most of the time they're not, and they will be generally happy to have these conversations with you, because you can always learn something from someone that you think is less or more than you. So if you walked away from anything or from this feeling, you have permission to use it in some place and not others. Good. That's amazing. That is a right feeling to have. There is no instructional manual, even though the gurus of life say that there's buy this instruction or download this instruction to get your email to get but wherever it is, it, that's your judgment that it comes, and hopefully a few more things to think about from this conversation that we have. I want to leave a question to the audience to answer in the comments, to send us a message after, whatever it is. What's one thing you still trust yourself to do without artificial intelligence, and why that thing specifically? That's what's going to help you to get out of your head and to start having meaningful connections to these tools. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you, Catarina. This was exactly the kind of conversation I wanted to have. I'm very excited to continue this. But yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Madalena, for the inviting. Thank you.